Yes, sir. Right back at y'all with another sports update. Tuesdays, 8 o'clock. You know how we do it. Adrian Reid in the building. Fellas, was good?
Yo,
Yo,
It's good. Yeah, let's go ahead. Dive right into it. So, obviously, we had the college football playoff yesterday. Big game. First game. Michigan beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl 17-27. So, Adrian, how was Michigan able to pull this off? What was your takeaways from this game?
man, the line of scrimmage, man, the trenches, the offensive line, the defensive line. A lot of people said Michigan was going to have a hard time because Bama defensive line, but the thing is, Bama was not really deep in the defensive line. They had over 3 guys who played 500 plus snaps. That's not like the usual Bama teams who can keep the guys rolling in and out. Instead, you seen Michigan's defensive line roll guys in and out. Had five different players with a sack, 6 sacks yesterday, 5 in the first half. Got really good job of containing Jalen Milroe. 21 carries for 65 yards, I believe. So I think they did ultimately a good job. Get him in. He broke a couple runs, but it was the defensive line, man. And if the special teams wasn't as bad, this game I don't think would have been as close. But I think Michigan overall was just the better football team. They came out and showed it. And they showed me a lot because they were able to get through adversity, man. Especially getting down 7-0 early after Samaj Morgan dropped that muffed the punt. And then in that third quarter, where it seemed like Bama was taking over when they got the lead, Michigan was able to fight, man, and get it to overtime and find a way to pull out victory, man.
excuse me. Yeah, Michigan played a hell of a game. It was surprising to me. Like Adrian said, a lot of it was won from the defensive line. Being able to sack Milroe. What was it, 6 times? I mean, I don't necessarily think he played his greatest game either. That center that they had, really bad snaps, low snaps all game. You saw Milroe having to reach for it. So I think it got a little bit into his head. The play call for Alabama, man, was not good at all. The play calling for Alabama, when they would do the draws or certain run plays, it just seemed like it was time to do it. It was like a 3rd and 9, or they're trying to do a QB draw. But all in all, Michigan played the better game. Like I said, defense stepped up. Special teams hurt them, but all in all, I mean, they were the better team. Blake Corum played a hell of a game.
Yeah, they won at the line of scrimmage. That was one of my biggest concerns going into this game. Not facing a quarterback as athletic as somebody like Milroe. I didn't know if they were going to be able to contain him or not, but yeah, they did a great job, especially that first half. That first half, Alabama's offense couldn't get anything going at all. So yeah, Michigan's defense, hats off to them. They played very well. I thought McCarthy could have played a lot better. I don't think that was Michigan's best game. No. I feel as though if they were fully clicking on all cylinders, they could have pulled away a lot more. McCarthy came out kind of shaky at the start when he threw that pick. He got called back, but he had Roman Wilson right there in the flat. He could have just took that. Some things they could have clinked up. They could have busted the game open a little more, but wide open. But they contained Milroe. Ultimately, he didn't go too crazy. Defense played well, and so yeah, it was a good win by Michigan. So Adrian, how do you see Michigan matching up against Washington?
If they play the style I believe for them to win this game is unlike the opposite of what Texas did last night. Texas was super hyper aggressive in their approach. I believe the best way to beat this Washington team and any high powered offensive team is to run the football and maintain possession of the football and keep them out of rhythm. I think Michigan has the people on offense to be able to do that, unlike Texas, who really didn't even try to run the football last night. Michigan will do that, and you know how stubborn they are. They will run the football, and I think they'll be able to wear Washington down. Washington hasn't seen this type of like defensive front or offensive front on the offensive line. In fact, so their defenses gave up 31 points last night to a Texas team. So I just think Michigan, if they're running the football and controlling the clock and not making mistakes or stupid turnovers in the special teams game, which needs to get cleaned up, I think they have a really good shot at claiming the first national title since 97.
48 for solo title, but 97 was the split one. Yeah, I
Reid had to slide that in there.
I think for them, if Michigan can do what they did to Milroe and kind of contain Penix, I think that's a big key for them, because again, if you let him get time and get hit Dunze, one of the receivers downfield, I think he's going to be a real threat. So Yeah, I mean, they just have to play defense like they did with the trenches.
Yeah, this one you got a stout defense in Michigan versus a top offense in Washington. So something's gonna have to budge. If their defense can play how it did yesterday against Bama, they'll definitely be in the mix. But Milroe's he's more like containing a running back. We all know Penix is gonna kill you with the passing. They got the receiving core and everything. So I don't know if the running back's gonna play this game or not. I know he got hurt that game. That'd be a big blow. I mean, we'll have to see, but if they're clicking on all cylinders, Michigan's defense could definitely they'll be in for a wake-up call for sure. Let's see. Fai says Orgy Milroe.
Thought it was funny when they brought him in.
Then,
I think too the key. I think
let's go Michigan Wolverines.
I think another key guys is in this game. Washington likes to pass a lot, especially these quick passing routes, slants, outs, in breaking routes, something quick, swing routes. What Michigan's D line needs to do is make sure they're getting their hands up on every pass rush attempt, even if they can't get to Michael Penix, because that's going to make a big difference too.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so Michigan 4.5 point favorite in that one. Y'all ready to make your predictions on that?
Yeah, I'll let Reid go first.
I think I know which way Reid is going.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I saw from Washington yesterday. I thought Texas was going to actually put up a better fight, but like Adrian said, they couldn't run the ball to save their life. They ran a fumble, I think, 3 times or something like that. Texas just didn't look like Texas looked like a team that shouldn't have been in there, to be honest with you. I mean, until the end, they had that small comeback, but they looked really up in the game. So, I don't know. I do think this Washington offense is just pretty much unstoppable. Their receiving chorus is really good. They have solid backs. Penix is athletic, and he was dropping just dart after dart after dart last night. He could not be stopped. So I am going to take Washington. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a blowout of a game, because every game Washington had. I think Washington played a lot harder competition than we actually realized throughout the year. So I think be like it was against this Texas game. I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than the Bama Michigan one. I think it's going to be 33-30 Washington.
Okay, I'm about in the ballpark where you are, Reid. I think Michigan's going to be able to make Washington one-dimensional because, like we said, we don't know the status of Dylan Johnson. If not, they're going to have Bernard back there. But I think Penix is not going to be able to run around like he did against that Texas defense. I think this Michigan defense is a lot more athletic, especially at the linebacker spot with Michael Barrett and Junior Colson. So they were able to do that, contain them, make them throw when they don't want to. Then I think that's going to be the key in this game. Like I said, get the hands up on the D-line. I think Michigan will be able to control the clock mostly. So I'm going to go Michigan 31, Washington 27.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michigan in this one as well. That's the key right there. Time of possession. You got to keep Penix and those boys. You got to keep that offense off the field. So Corum, Donovan Edwards, they got to win at the line of scrimmage like they did against Alabama. They play good defense. They'll definitely be in this game. Just one thing you can't do, you can't lose time of possession. You don't want Washington to get ahead. You don't want them. Michigan's not a play from behind team, so they got to come out early. They got to get sacks, play good defense. They got to run the ball, keep Penix off the field, and if they do that, I think Michigan caps the season off. I think they win it all. I think they win the national championship.
One more quick thing before we get off Michigan. The fact is, I like that Samaj dropped that punt on like their second possession, but I will give them credit for keeping them in the game. A true freshman out there. He's made some plays this year, but they, try to keep his head going and, keep his confidence and not keep it down. And secondly, and I'm going to tell you this is especially for you, Raaj, Jake Thaw, number 26, should never, ever, ever, and I mean ever, ever, be on punt return ever again. I've said this from the beginning of the season, so he should never see the field. Let the ball bounce into the end zone. It almost could have cost him.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Why did they take Samaj out of that at that point in the game? Did he get hurt or something? Or
I don't know. I guess because he muffed the punt earlier in the game. I don't know, but the special teams it was a complete utter disaster.
Yeah, that made no sense to me. No sense. All right, let's see some feedback here. Celebrate the win. Michigan got the secondary. Michigan gets the dub. He likes Michigan over Washington. Okay. Faiz says Penix is going to have a rough night. We'll see if the defense shows up 2 weeks.
You can't stop him. You just got to slow him down.
Yeah, because I don't trust McCarthy and Penix in the shootout. McCarthy's he's a game manager. And last one here, Faiz says under 250 yards for sure.
Whoa.
He says 34-28 Michigan. All right, Faiz running with Michigan as well. All right, so yeah, sticking with the bowl games. Yeah, something I also want to add. I think they need to change the transfer and the portal rules. I think the portal shouldn't open up so after the national championship game, because when you open the portal up right after the season like that, all these guys transferring, coaches, quarterbacks, players, these bowl games, they're meaningless. They're exhibition games, they're scrimmages. So I want to see the NCAA put in a new rule this upcoming season to where the portal doesn't open till after the national championship game. So I mean, how you guys feel about it, Adrian? Do you think the bowl games are just watered down this season?
This ain't the first time we talked about this. This is what's going on. I can take this all the way back to when Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey decided that they weren't going to play in the bowl game, and
that's when it started.
Yeah, and that was
like when it basically started, when all this sitting for bowl games, for drafts, not transfer portal as much, but that's all when it kicked off, you know.
If I was a coach, like a college football coach, I'd probably, these coaches aren't getting any sleep or any like downtime, because you think right after the season you're trying to deal with getting ready for a bowl game, whatever bowl game you're going to be getting in, dealing with your players leaving in the portal. Then you got to deal with the players that you already have, trying to give them NIL money. So we need to do something to where it's a balance, whether it's you're giving NIL a cap or you're giving changing the calendar on it. Definitely needs to be changed. Like I said, and it all started too with them instituting the early signing day period. I mean, just leave it at February like it is. We'll be good to go. Change the transfer portal and all that stuff till after these bowl games, or at least to the first of the year, instead of putting so much pressure on these guys, because it's just the wild west out here, man. And you see, like, now it's supposed to be a dead period right now, but that cornerback from USC, Damani Jackson, was at Bama's practice last week, and he's not even supposed to be there. So it's just there's no rules, there's no guidelines for anything. It's just all over the place. And like I said, if I was a coach, college football coach, I don't blame these guys for getting up out of there and going to the NFL where it's less stressful.
Yeah, I mean, the team that I root for was really hurt by the whole transfer portal and sitting out, as we saw. I think it was 15 of the 22 starters weren't playing. I know it was 5 out of 7 defensive linemen were out. So I mean, Jared Verse, who's our number one guy. I'm with you, Raj. I think it's a lot of it needs to be changed. It needs to be pushed to the end of bowl games. Everything like that it needs to be changed, pushed back. It's ruining the fun of all the bowl games. Everybody talks about bowl season. Bowl season isn't even fun anymore because guys don't come out and play. You know? I didn't watch a single bowl game other than these last two, because they were just unwatchable. They were bad products. I would be curious to see too how many what the rate, like the viewership was this year compared to years past, because it was a lot of football and a lot of guys that are sitting all year and then they're playing, this one bowl game. So yeah, it definitely needs to be changed. I'm with Adrian. There needs to be a cap on NIL, and there needs to be amount of cut down the amount of times kids can transfer. I'm happy because it might have received a good quarterback because of it. Uiagalelei is a solid quarterback, but he went to Clemson, then he went to Oregon State. Now he's at Florida State. I think this is his 5th year. You can't have guys going to 3 teams like this is the NFL. It should be you should be able to transfer once. You should be able to transfer once, and that's it. And if you don't like that school that you're at, stick around till the NFL draft. But you can't be transferring 3-4 times.
Yeah, agreed. Well said. So yeah, we'll see if any new rules get implemented this offseason, which I'm sure they have to. With the amount of money that.
Real quick too, guys. 2 notes of importance. 27.2 million watched the Michigan-Alabama game. To the top 10 telecast of all time. And then Brock Bowers has officially declared for the draft. I mean, we all knew that, but he made it official.
Okay.
See, like the Rose Bowl, I would assume people would watch. That's just
Yeah.
like such a good venue. It should be either. I know Herb Street said it should be that's where the championship should be played every year. I don't think they can do that because it's a smaller venue.
Yeah.
But I do think it should be one of the. Now I'm moving to 12, so it definitely will be. But it should have been one of the 4 games, or one of the 2 games every year because it's such a great. There's so much history and such a great venue to watch on TV. It's awesome. Like it's aesthetically pleasing. The red really just pops. So yeah, I think it should be. I think it should have been one of the final games every year. But now since it's 12, it will be.
Yeah, agreed. So if Michigan wins this game, Reid, can we get a bet? Can we get you to wear a amazing blue T-shirt, a hat, or something? If Michigan wins this game, can we get something on the next stream?
Sure, if you guys want me to. I mean, I'm not so against Michigan winning. I mean, if they win, they win. And
we can't tell.
I gotta eat my crow. You know, I mean, I've been talking them down all year, so I mean, I'll take whatever it is. Sure, if they win, I mean, I'll have to go. You know, Goodwill, dig one out of the trash or something. I don't own any Michigan gear, clearly. I'll wear one if they win.
We just need the dad cap for next stream. That's if they win.
Right.
At least you ain't Paul Feinbaum who had to eat his crow this morning.
Yeah, at least I don't have to do it in front of millions of people on TV.
Yeah,
just people who want to hear an idiot talk. You know, I'll wear something if they win.
All right, cool. Best locked in.
That.
All right, we'll take that. All right. So yeah, sticking with 4. Let's switch over to the NFL. So talk of the town right now. The Lions and the Cowboys game Saturday. It ended 19-20 Lions with a 1-point loss. Obviously, Decker went to report to the ref. He didn't hear him. The 2-point conversion was a no-go. Me personally, I think after that flag was thrown, Campbell shouldn't have went for it again on that second try. The odds of you getting 2 in a row, just the odds are just too low. I think he should have just kicked the field goal and took it to overtime. But they got screwed regardless of what by the refs. So that's where I'm at with it. So Reid, where you at with that Lions and Cowboys game?
Yeah, I know a lot of people keep bringing up this Aiden Hutchinson tripping thing too. It's like the new thing that they're going after, saying that he tried to trip and they called the wrong flag. The Dallas would have been in the red. Whatever. The refs also missed a clear pass interference on St. Brown when he was in the front of the end zone and the Cowboys player was all over him. And then there was a hold on that long CeeDee Lamb play. So the refs were just bad all around, but that was a horrible call for them to. They're saying he sees Dan Skipper, so he thinks it's 70 when 68's talking to him. The 2 other guys don't say words to him, just whoever's reporting does. I think it's a bad call, but I do think Dan Campbell is Dan Campbell. That's the type of coach that he is. In that play call, he was gonna go for 2 over the win regardless. He said that on the radio today. He would win regardless. That's just the kind of coach he is. As a Lions fan, you have to live with that. I think all the guys wanted him to go for it, get that win. But yeah, it's horrible that these refs. They need to have guys that are full time, like guys that go to courses, guys that they need to have refs just be these volunteer guys. Hopefully they don't screw over, Adrian Steelers this week.
Yep, I was not happy with that after I found it out. But for me, like you guys said, Dan Campbell was on the radio this morning, 97.1. He said he already told the guys that they're going to go down there and score. They're going to go for 2. But at that point, after they called it, which we know it was just chaotic. But after the Parsons jumped off sides, I'm just going to take the points. Get it to overtime. I believe that they would have went to overtime and beat this Cowboys team, who I believe is definitely overrated. And I will give the defense credit. They played well besides the CeeDee Lamb 92-yard touchdown, which Derek Barnes kind of whiffed on Dak. But if you really look back at that play, I kind of think the way he hit him was awkward. Like he didn't take a right angle.
He pushed him.
Yeah.
He didn't pop up. He tried to shoulder check him almost.
I kind of feel like he was afraid to hit him because he was thinking too hard about getting a ref and a passer call. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when you're talking about defenders trying to go tackle quarterbacks and you can't hit them the wrong way, or it's gonna be a 15-yard penalty on them. It's like you got these guys overthinking too much. But I will give them credit. Dan Campbell stood on it. He didn't fold on it. Mike McCarthy he gave the Lions way more time than they needed at the end of the game. He's thrown the ball on second down. Lions got the ball back with like 1:40 instead of what would have been like 42 seconds left. He's not a good coach either, but this is setting up to possibly be meeting Dallas again, maybe in the divisional round. If everything plays out well, because I think eventually it's going to set up for the Lions to play Stafford and the Rams in the wild card round, then possibly travel to Dallas. So I'm here for it. They play again. That Cowboys are not beating the Lions. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, on the rematch, I definitely will run with the Lions. Yeah, and also I get it. Dan Campbell, he's a gutsy guy. He's gonna go for it. But like he even left 3 points on the field in the first half when they remember when they had the fake punt, Reeves Maben, they convert, they get down to the red zone. You got a chance to steal 3 points right there because you converted the fake punt. You go for it, you don't get anything. That could have changed the dynamic of that game as well. So it's kind of a gift and a curse with Dan Campbell with all this going for it. I just hope that it doesn't cost us a playoff game. I hope he doesn't make one of these calls in the playoffs because I think the state will turn on them. They'll turn on him if he makes one of these bad decisions. We see that with Jim Caldwell. So I like Dan Campbell. I'm rooting for him. I just hopefully none of this comes back and bites him in the ass. All right, shout out Brian Jelinek in the building.
Oh yeah, shout out Brian.
Says Hammer Washington plus 4.5. He likes Washington in the points.
He's a Michigan hater too.
Yeah, I'm hip. We're gonna see. But actually, we need Jelinek on the stream next week.
Let's get him. I'll reach out to him.
If Michigan wins, we need Jelinek and we need Reid with the Michigan gear on for next week's stream.
I think he used to work at the ticket, didn't he?
Yeah. So Jelinek,
I worked at the other radio station when he was there.
Yeah. So Jelinek, if you're down with that, put a handshake emoji in the chat for us. Said he's down.
Yes, sir.
Said he's on. All right, cool. All right, so sticking with the Lions.
Well, hang on. Wait, we got this. So he's gonna come on, and him and I are the Michigan haters. What happens if Washington wins? What do you guys got to do?
I'm at to throw some Florida State gear on for you.
I throw some. Right. I throw some Florida State gear. I like Florida State. I don't mind them. But Jelinek,
seems like more of a punishment than I am.
Yeah, he's a Michigan State guy. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Shout out Con in the building. He says Penix is a very good passer. Yes, Michigan defense is going to have their hands very full next week.
And he's left-handed, so the ball comes out different too. So
I think last night showed that he should be higher on mock draft boards. I know things will change when pro days come out, but I think he should be talked to instead of he looked incredible. He couldn't miss the throw yesterday, I swear.
The problem with him is the injury history. There's no question about the talent. You got 2 ACL injuries, 2 shoulder injuries, so that's the only concern. I think that teams are kind of laying back on him about what. I think if he goes through the draft process and does what he's supposed to be, he should definitely be a higher pick for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to see how these combines and pro days play out. Kind of says, Raaj, if you put on Florida State gear, you can't come back to Detroit. I think he came in towards the end of that. So Reid is a big Florida State fan. We're Michigan.
He's mad about the Orange Bowl. Orange Bowl lost years ago. Was that 2016 when they lost?
So
when Dalvin Cook put an absolute clinic on Michigan.
Yeah. So no, Con came in late. So Reid was going with Washington next week. We're running with Michigan. The bet was if Michigan wins, Reid and Jelinek have to wear Michigan gear. If Washington wins, me and Adrian got to wear Florida State gear. So that's what that was. All right. So going back to the Lions. So the Lions at the Vikings this Sunday. So, Adrian, should the Lions play their starters or should they rest guys and get ready for the playoffs?
No, they're not in a position to where they got to rest their starters. You need to play everybody that you can possibly play. Hopefully, CJ gets back. Aleem McNeil gets back. I know Houston probably won't be back. There's no chance he'll be back for this game. But if those guys can get back, get them in some rhythm, at least get these guys in at least 2 to 3 quarters, and then you can pull them out or do what you want to do. But I think they're gonna steamroll the Vikings. Vikings got steamrolled at home against the Packers, and I think the Lions are going to do that too. And Dan Campbell even said they're probably going to play them because they still mathematically have a chance to get the 2 seed. So those guys will be playing, but I think it'll be a blowout.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't think you're in the position to rest any of your guys or sit any. I mean,
little choppy there, Reid. Say that again.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Come with that take again. You have froze.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say you just can't rest the starters. They need to win this game. Really show that they have a fire in their stomach. Maybe if you get up by 3 touchdowns, something like that. Maybe if you do what the Ravens did to Miami, it was dumb. Miami was dumb for having Bradley Chubb in there and letting him get that ACL injury. So maybe if you get up, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, then you can do that. But yeah, you can't rest them. You need to win this game. I'm hoping they get up enough and we can see Hendon Hooker play a few snaps. That's only if they get up enough,
Yeah, Hendon Hooker or Teddy. Teddy announced he's retiring, so maybe the Teddy grand finale. I don't know, but yeah, I expect the starters to start this game. I expect them to be fully staffed. I don't know if McNeil, Gardner Johnson, those guys coming back. I would like to see Gardner Johnson play this game, get his legs under him because he hasn't played since the week 1 game against was that week 1 or 2 against Seattle?
Yeah,
that was week 2, right? Yeah, week 2. He hasn't played since Seattle, so if he's ready to go back, get him out there so he can get his feet wet, get his legs up under him. Hopefully, McNeil's back. If not this game,
he's supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be back this game. I think he's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because that's why they waived Bugs was to get McNeil off the IR. So I mean, his practice. I mean, I don't think he needs a practice window coming off of the IR for a short stint. So I think he should play.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we got to see how that plays out Sunday then. But I think we're all running with the Lions on that one. Lions 3-point favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Hammer that.
I can't believe it's only 3. Cannot believe it's only. Yeah, real hammer that. I cannot believe it's only 3.
Right. Absolutely. So the Cowboys could possibly get the 2 seed this Sunday. They can win the NFC East if they win at Washington. So can the Cowboys win the NFC East, Reid?
Can they? I definitely think the Eagles, I don't know what's going on with them. You lose to the Cardinals. They look horrible. They're doing Sirianni looks like he's lost his book and just using the Madden generated playbook. That Eagles team did not look great. So yeah, I think they can easily beat Washington. Washington's now, they're not anything crazy since they sold basically half their defensive line and Dallas, they play good football against bad teams. So yeah, I definitely think they can lock it up.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think the Cowboys are going to win this division by default. The Eagles are practically falling apart, playing the worst football right now. Their defense can't stop us, a single person right now. They couldn't probably stop us if we decided to run the football. Losing to the Cardinals the way they did, that's embarrassing. But yeah, they'll probably win the division by default. And I hate to say that, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Do you think the Eagles will be a dangerous wild card team though?
No chance. Not with the way they're playing right now. I think they just need a reset, going to the offseason, figure out whatever's going on with that defense, especially that back. And I know Slade's been out for a while, so that's their best secondary player, and they've got nothing but torched in that back half of the secondary. So yeah, I don't see the Eagles doing anything. They're one and done in my opinion.
Do the Bills make it for the AFC?
No, the Bills don't.
If they win,
I need them to lose.
They're playing Miami this weekend, right?
Miami, yeah. They got the last game Sunday night.
I think the Bills win that one. I think the Bills win only because Miami's so ruled with injuries. They lost 2 of their best pass rushers.
Yeah, I just think Miami's they're going to play desperate. They're going to play hard. And then when they get at home, they're like the Cowboys. They play so much better at home. So I think they're supposed to get Mostert back. So that'll help their offense as well. So I think Tua will be able to figure a way out to get the job done.
Is that win and get in for Buffalo, or are they already in?
Yeah. Yep. That's whoever wins this is winning the AFC, is winning the division.
Okay, and the loser gets the wild card, or they're out?
I believe they will get if
Buffalo's out if they lose. I know that.
Yeah, if they lose, the Steelers will get in with the win at Baltimore.
I'm praying for that game. Let's go Steelers. I'm gonna be a Steelers fan right with you, Adrian. On that
game.
Adrian, can your Steelers pull off the upset?
I actually probably think they do win. I think Baltimore's not going to rest all their starters, but I think they're going to probably rest Lamar, probably rest some of them running backs, the receivers, the main guys who needs the rest. I think Tyler Huntley's is a capable backup, though. He's kind of Lamar Jackson-esque, so I still think it'll be close. But I think if that happens, I think the Steelers should find a way to pull that victory out. As you know, they're notoriously good against playing Baltimore, so I like my chances if Lamar doesn't play.
Okay, cool. So Reid, who's your current 1 week left of the NFL season? Who's your MVP right now, Reid? You ready to hand it over to Lamar or not? You taking the field?
I mean, I was willing to give it to Lamar after the 49ers win. I mean, we've seen it throughout this whole year. It's whoever the hottest quarterback is on the best team, they're going to give him the MVP. It's been Jalen Hurts through the beginning of the season. Then it was Dak. Then it was Brock. And then the Ravens heated up at the right time. Lamar played a hell of a game. It's Miami. But again, I've said it to all the Ravens fans in that group, that fantasy league that I'm in. I don't think Lamar Jackson's the most valuable player, so to speak, because I think that defense has bailed him out of a lot of games too that people forget about. The 3 weeks before San Francisco, Lamar Jackson didn't win any of those games for him. It was all the defense. He didn't win the game against the Chargers. That was the defense. He didn't win the game against who else did they play? I don't remember who they played. I had to go back and look, but a lot of those he had like 1-and-1s and like for 200 yards. Like he wasn't slinging the ball, throwing 5 touchdowns, and he always has one of those games too every year. Seems like Miami against me everywhere he throws 5 touchdowns in a game. But yeah, I personally just I don't hold a lot of weight behind MVPs. I know more people do, but I was looking from before 2000, I believe, so like 99 down to 80, 89. It was 7 different positions were in there, 7 running backs, and then Lawrence Taylor won it. And there's only been 3 since then that have been running backs. It's been quarterbacks. So it's quarterback award now. We've talked about it multiple times on this pod. So yeah, I mean Lamar can have it. I don't think he's really hold a lot of weight. Just like I don't think Mobile will hold a lot of weight. They're popularity contests at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if Tyreek wouldn't have got hurt, if he could have got over that 2,000 yards, you could have made the case.
McCaffrey should win it. I'll say that. Sorry. I think Chris McCaffrey would win it. I think he is the most valuable player on that 49ers team and in the NFL. Yeah, CMC.
Yeah. I mean, he is, but also like they're so good. They got the coach, the play caller, O-line, the receivers. You could plug in another running back and he'd still be effective. He wouldn't be Christian McCaffrey, but he still would be able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Christian McCaffrey is the reason they've won a lot more games, and Lamar has been the reason that the Ravens have won more games.
Yeah, I definitely would have won Tyreek Hill. Had Tyreek Hill not missed a game or two, and as you can see is how different the offense is on Miami, and then look at the Kansas City Chiefs right now, without Tyreek Hill. So that just shows you the importance of that guy. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's a quarterback war unless somebody does something so spectacular that you've never seen it before.
Yeah,
like even Barry had a split MVP when he rushed for his 2,000 yards or whatever it was. He split an MVP with I don't remember who it was, Aikman. So it's like it's impossible for any other position basically unless it's quarterback. But the quarterback is always. I mean, you talk about quarterbacks; they're the highest paid. They're in TV shows. They're always the best looking guy. So, quarterback is the position that every kid wants to play when they're young. So I could see why they give it to quarterbacks.
Yeah, I feel as though somebody's going to break through here soon with the way offense, how the game leads towards offense now in the NFL. I think we are pretty soon to seeing a wide receiver or a running back get an MVP here soon.
I hope so.
Calvin, like Cooper Kupp not getting it when he had the Triple Crown, or Calvin not getting it when he broke Jerry Rice's record. I think those are also kind of crazy ones. There's also, Jerry Rice. I have to look. I don't think he ever won an MVP, but no, because no wide receivers ever won it.
Yeah, that year when Calvin broke the receiving record, though, they didn't make the playoffs. He was just on an under 500 team. I think if they would have been a playoff team, he probably would have been more in the mix. So winning definitely plays a factor, which goes into my next question about the Pistons. Pistons currently 3-30. So Reid, can Cade be considered an all-star when you're on the worst team in the NBA, or do you should you hold that against a player in the All-Star voting?
I don't think you hold it against him because I think he's the only reason that team stays in games, and he's proven that when he just went 30-10 in the win. He scored 4 points a few games ago. He didn't play well last night. I'll be the first to admit that. But yeah, I think him being on such a bad team, he will get an All-Star vote just because of that. The Pistons having a historically bad year. But I mean, I just looked at his stats. He's averaging like 23, 4, and 7. Like, I mean, he's averaging better stats than like an Anthony Edwards. I mean, some of the other guys that are starting at point guards too that are in the league. Obviously, he's not like Halliburton, or like a Doncic, but I mean, I definitely think that he should be considered for one. But I think team playing so bad, I don't think he'll end up making an All-Star, which stinks. But again, I mean, Emmy is like the main popularity vote All-Star type game. So
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. He's averaging 23, 4, and 7.3 assists a game by shooting 44.3%. The one thing I will say, he's got to work on this 3-point shot more consistently in this all season. But that also comes, I think he's taking a lot of bad shots at the end of the clock because as we know how bad this team is at shooting the 3-point as a team. So I think once he gets better players around him and guys can actually shoot, it's going to actually help his percentage. But he's doing everything he can. And I will say this: he's had a great attitude during this whole season, man. I know that they talked about him trying to get guys up in the locker room during that losing streak, and I'm happy for him. They was able to find a way to get a victory and snap that historic losing streak, man. It's embarrassing, like I said. You got to get this guy some help. As we all, I don't think there's anything to do. Maybe they get Siakam, but OG's off the table as we because they traded Toronto traded him to the Knicks. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but. We're just kind of all ready for the season to be over and just make some trades and just shape this roster. But I don't see it happening with the current front office that we have.
Yeah. I think he's gonna get stubbed as an All-Star as well. I mean, by the time you get close to it, I think he'll have the numbers. But just being on the worst team in the NBA, he's gonna get snubbed. But I do think maybe he does go to All-Star weekend, maybe the skills competition or something like that. But as far as the actual game, I think he's going to be on the outside looking in. For sure. All right, so yeah, my last one here, Reid. We got Conor McGregor in the UFC announced that he's going to be fighting June 29th. He's going to be fighting against Michael Chandler in the International Fight Week. So Reid, how excited are you to see McGregor get back in the ring?
I mean, I love Conor McGregor. I think he skyrocketed the MMA. He put them on a faster projection than anybody ever could have thought. Just the way with his predictions and the way he talks, kind of Muhammad Ali-esque the way that he talks about, and it predicts his fight. So, I'm excited to see him get back in the ring. I don't want to see another like Dustin Poirier fight where he backs up and breaks his leg or something. Michael Chandler, no slouch. He's a good fighter. But yeah, I love Conor McGregor. I hope he's had a long time off, so I hope that doesn't come up, catch him off guard. But I will be rooting for Conor McGregor in the fight. So I think I think UFC is just better when Conor McGregor is good. I do think win or lose, this probably be his last fight. He's made his money in the UFC, and now he has so many different endeavors. So. I'm excited to see him back. I think that this is his last fight, though.
I would agree more that when he was at the peak, he definitely turned it up on for UFC and MMA. Had everybody watching. The entertaining guy. You're gonna get something from him. I just think being out for so long, he's not the same guy that we've seen before, especially after all the injuries he had. I think he's just doing it for a check. The UFC is gonna give him whatever he wants on this. So hopefully it's a good fight. Hopefully he puts on a good performance, but we'll see. I won't judge until I see it, but I'm not like overly excited for it. It's good to see him in the ring, but I don't think he cares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, there it is. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to add before we get up out of here?
Top five.
Oh, man.
Five.
Yeah. There you go. Top 5.
Adrian's top 5 list. Adrian's top 5 NFL teams. Let's hear it.
All right, last second of the day, top 5 teams. I made some adjustments. You guys are probably going to look at me crazy, but it was a little tough. But let's go with number 1, the Baltimore Ravens. what can we say? Been the best team in football this last month or so, playing crazy good football. Just smacked up on San Francisco 2 weeks ago. Just smacked up on the Dolphins. Already clinched the #1 seed in the AFC. So who knows what they do this week, but looks like the best team in the NFL right now. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. What more needs to be said? Got all the pieces. I still don't think Brock Purdy's the guy, but hey, he gets the job done. So we'll see. They got the Rams coming up this weekend. They already clinched the #1 seed in the NFC though. So only playing for much. Probably a lot of the guys will be out. Number 3, I'm still going to keep them there even though they lost. That's the Miami Dolphins. I think that game was more so how good Baltimore is rather than Miami right now at this point. I think Miami still will find a way to win Sunday night against the Buffalo Bills and win the AFC East. And then number 4 are the hometown Detroit Lions. I still think they are a better football team than the Dallas Cowboys. They showed me something going into Jerry World and should have got the victory. Controversial mistakes as we talked about earlier in the show, but I believe they're poised and ready to go. Going to keep this momentum going by beating the Vikings this weekend. At number 5, I hate to say it because I hate this team, but number 5, this guy should definitely win Coach of the Year. But that is the Cleveland Browns, who are sitting at 11-5 right now, with Joe Flacco as their quarterback, and he put on a performance against the Jets, dicing them up. This man came off the street and just been on fire. He has better numbers.
He's been the best. Probably been one of the best quarterbacks in the league the last 4 weeks.
Crazy,
unreal. Like
as
unreal.
we know, this Cleveland defense is fantastic, and gives Stefanski credit. They're on the 3rd, 4th string running back, 6th, 7th offensive starting tackle, and so he's not. You don't see them missing a beat right now. And I don't want to hear teams complain about it because they've had some of the most injuries in the league this year. So good teams find a way to just win games, and that's what they're doing. And right now, I believe if the playoffs started today, I think they would be traveling to Jacksonville, which I would be favoring Cleveland. I would hammer that, whatever that would be, maybe 3.5, 4.5. But Cleveland is playing as good as football as any team in the league right now.
Yeah, Flacco brought Njoku back to life too. He's out there looking like Tony Gonzalez is prime right now.
Yeah. It's unreal to see Joe Flacco play. And again, that Ravens fantasy league I'm in, I'm hamming it up about Joe Flacco. Wait until Joe Flacco comes back and hands the Ravens a loss in the playoffs. And obviously we got to play the Rams. So, knock on wood that Stafford doesn't do the stuff. I think the playoffs scenario is crazy. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's a good top 5. I don't think anything was out of the ordinary. The Dolphins, I mean, you said maybe they just, I think it was more how good the Ravens were. But I probably would have slid them down and slid everybody else up. I would have had the Dolphins at 5 probably. And then everybody else, I think, go down.
Go, give us that 5 real quick one more time, Adrian.
Sorry, guys. You got Baltimore.
Ravens. Yep.
San Francisco.
49ers.
Miami. Detroit, and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Miami.
So I would move Miami to the back, and then I would have Detroit and Cleveland up. That's the only thing I would change.
Okay.
Because Miami's had some weird losses. I got Miami at 5.
Miami at 5. So you guys will put Miami over Dallas and Buffalo?
Yes.
I think the Lions prove that Dallas aren't. I mean, they're good, but I think toe to toe. I mean, you want to put Dallas 5, you can, but I think they're kind of Miami and Dallas could change. I think they're pretty even teams at this point, but I'd still put Miami back at 5 because again the injuries. So
yeah, and Miami did beat them head to head. So
yeah.
Axe says AFC playoff picture looks interesting.
Yeah, you could possibly have three AFC North teams in the playoffs. I mean that ain't the best division in football. Then
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, yeah, there it is. Anything else you guys want to add before we get up out of here?
Shout out Mike Tomlin. Is going to finish this year with another non-losing season.
Fire him.
Yeah, crazy. So he's doing a hell of a job with the roster. We're down to our 4th and 5th string safeties, 4th, 5th string linebackers. Kenny Pickett's been awful. Mason Rudolph's been playing well. So just want to give a shout out to Mike Tomlin for keeping these guys in the picture. They might not make it, but hey, the fact that they're possibly getting 10 wins will be an incredible season.
Crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, next week, next Tuesday, 8:00. If Michigan's winners,
a Michigan title finally coming in next Tuesday. So we'll see.
We'll know next Tuesday if Michigan wins. We'll see Reid in the Michigan gear. We'll see Jelinek
First
in the
one
Michigan
since
gear.
WW. Slide it in one more time.
The hate is real. The hate is real. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Peace.
Peace.